Now for what's trending in true crime, a 37-year-old father of 3 is charged with second-degree murder for leaving his 2-year-old in a hot car. Here's little Parker Scholtes. She was still strapped into her car seat when she was discovered in the car. And police say that her father, Christopher, told them that Parker was sleeping and he didn't want to wake her up. But the complaint says that he was distracted by a video game and putting away groceries. Scripps News Tucson reporter Craig Smith explains how the tragedy unfolded.
Marana police say the 2-year-old girl died after the father left her in the back seat of the family car for more than 3 hours. The man told police that he left the engine and the air conditioner running, but he also knew that that car would shut itself off fairly quickly. The young girl died on July 9th. Marana police originally said Christopher Scholtes left the 2-year-old girl in this car with the air conditioning running, but the air conditioning shut off. He said he had left the child in the car before and did not want to wake her because she was sleeping. This is one of her own company cars, but it has a feature the car in this case had too. If you put this car in park and leave the motor running, the car will shut off automatically in 30 minutes. And police say Christopher Scholtes knew that. According to the interim complaint, the family's other children, aged 5 and 9, told police Scholtes often left all the children in the car, and on this day was distracted by a video game and by putting some food away. Scholtes' wife is a medical doctor. Investigators say she came home about 4 p.m. and asked where the 2-year-old was. The report says Scholtes searched through the house, then remembered the girl was still in the car. By that time, the car and its air conditioning had stopped. Police say by late afternoon, the temperature was 109. Scholtes told police he had returned home with the girl by about 2:30. Police found neighborhood surveillance video that showed they'd returned at 12:52, about 2 hours sooner. The child's mother tried to revive the child but could not. Police say as an ambulance rushed the child to a hospital, the mother texted Christopher Scholtes, "I told you to stop leaving them in the car. How many times have I told you?" Scholtes responded, "Baby, I'm sorry." The mother texted, "We've lost her. She was perfect." Scholtes said, "Babe, our family, how could I do this? I killed our baby. This can't be real." A second-degree murder charge is applied if someone dies after a suspect has taken actions indifferent or reckless to human life. If found guilty of second-degree murder, Christopher Scholtes could face between 25 years and life in prison. Craig Smith, KGUN 9.
Oh, my. Now, police seized Scholtes' PlayStation and his vehicle. And this morning, we're asking our power panel the question, what was the dad thinking? Let's bring in our guests now. Criminal defense attorney, civil rights attorney Casey Early, criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Franz Borghardt, and criminal defense attorney Mark O'Mara. Great to see you all. And I want to just say welcome back to Casey and Mark. It's been so long since we've seen you both. So happy to have you both on the show. I know you've both been busy in trial lately. So Casey, would you start off our conversation, please? Your thoughts here on the dad?
Julie, I have to answer your question, and thank you for having me. He wasn't thinking. You know, as a mother of 4, my heart breaks, first and foremost. He put his needs, his wants, and failed to prioritize his children. He chose convenience over caring for this precious angel. And, you know, mom's text message really sums up what he's been doing. It's a repeated pattern. And the fact that he chose not to bring her in, knowing that the engine would cut off, and then, of course, got sidetracked by playing video games, that's just egregious. And I'm pretty sure that he might as well mitigate this case, because what is your defense? The text messages, the surveillance, you lied to authorities regarding the time, so you knew. So there's no way that he's going to, you know, get an acquittal in this case, because all of his actions, this could have been prevented. And here in Florida, we have what's called sentence enhancements to prevent this type of behavior. So hopefully, you know, this can be deterred, because we're tired of hearing children left in hot cars.
Right. Well said, Casey. Thank you for all of that. Franz Borghardt, to you next, please. Your thoughts on what Dad was thinking.
How many times have I told you not to leave the kids in the car? Oh, that text message. If I were a prosecutor, that's my opening statement. And by the way, are we going to prosecute mom for leaving the kids with this dude who clearly isn't fit to be a father? You know, my impression is, and I agree, he needs to work out some kind of resolution where he's mitigating. He is looking at least 25 to life. Statutorily, this checks all the boxes. And the narrative to a jury that what slipped his mind was leaving his kid in the car while he was playing a video game. Just horrible stuff.
It sure is, Franz. You're right. The prosecutors are going to throw that in his face if this guy goes to trial. Mark O'Mara, to you next, please. Your thoughts on this dad?
Well, first of all, great to see you again, Julie. Always good to be back. It's just horribly sad, and I slightly disagree with my learned counsel who spoke before me. No question what he did was, quote, wrong. But we also know that this was stupidity and reckless. That's the way they charged him, and that's what really happened. So yes, we can look back the text messages, the idiocy of leaving your children, but it's almost as mitigating as it is aggravating, isn't it? The fact that everyone plays video games today and everyone gets caught up on whatever is in front of them in the screen and not focusing on their children. Unfortunately, this guy's not the only guy guilty of that. We do that across the board. Matter of fact, we now know that iPads are the new babysitters. So I'm not giving this guy a pass because he had the responsibility of his 2-year-old. But the harsh reality is, yes, as I said a moment ago, this keeps happening. It just keeps occurring. And it is not an intentional act. It's not even, in my opinion, necessarily grossly negligent under Arizona's second-degree statute. It's horribly sad, and we need a more systemic response to it. We're starting to get those, by the way, in new cars that have these interior monitors to let you know if there's something alive in the car. Sad he didn't have it. I agree this is not a trial case in a jury. This is mitigation to say to the jury, not intentional, horrible, I've suffered, I've lost, I've destroyed my family, but I don't need to go to prison for 25 years. That does not fix this.
Right. And Mark, thank you for all of that. Great points. And then get this, on Friday in court, Scholtes' wife pleaded with the judge to give him bail, saying, I'm just asking if you can allow him to come home to us so that we can all start the grieving process, so he can bury our daughter with us this coming week, and that we can go through this whole process together as a family. And she called the incident a big mistake, and the judge granted him bail. So, even though the wife may seem to be forgiving, and read into that what you will, we're wondering, what kind of a witness is she going to be against him? How key is she going to be? Casey, back to you, please.
It depends, because, Julie, as you know, grieving process has various stages. You go through anger, then you have sympathy. This may be her sympathy phase, but when reality sets in, she may realize that she's still held to the oath. She's going to have to tell the truth on the stand, and the truth will prevail because sympathy has no place in court. And that's the role of the prosecutor if he chooses to go that way. But even as a defense attorney, there's cases that we see that come into our office and we analyze, and we know this is a good case to take to trial, or this is a good case to mitigate. And I think based on her position, based on her being the position of the victim mother, this may be a case where most likely, yes, he will serve jail time, but it will be substantially less than if he takes that gamble and go to trial.
Right. Franz, to you next. Your thoughts, please.
So I'm not shocked that he has a bond, right? Probably doesn't have a criminal record. This was kind of an extreme incident where I think the risk of it happening again to the remaining surviving kids is probably low. Bond is meant to just ensure his attendance at court, and I don't know that society at large is a risk. So I'm not shocked or offended that he has a bond. I think if I were representing him, I probably would have had a long conversation with him about the fact that, look, you're looking at significant jail time. And while I want you to be able to go home and be with your family and kids, there may be a benefit of you staying in jail at present and getting some time under your belt and using that as a negotiating piece later.
Great points, Franz. Thank you for that. Mark O'Mara, would you take us home kindly, please? Your thoughts on mom as a witness.
She's going to be a great witness for the defense. I understand this is one grieving process that maybe she's in a sympathy, but it sounds like she's going to stand by what is left of her family, which is all she has left. Dad needs to be there for the other two. I think it's going to work out extraordinarily well as part of the mitigation. And again, he should not be looking at minimum mandatory 25. Did he cause the death? by some negligence standard, yes. Reckless, I don't think the state gets there. And if they demand a trial by arguing a 25-year, then it should and will be a trial. But the idea, as has been spoken about, let's just go ahead and understand this for what it is. It is a horrific tragedy that is going to destroy this family, already has. But we don't need to destroy it anymore. The system is there to hold people responsible, but a suffering has already happened here. Let's try and work towards saving the next 2-year-old.
Isn't that the truth? The next 2-year-old, little Parker Scholtes. We're all thinking about that sweet child, 2 years old, gone far too soon. Mark O'Mara and Casey earlier coming along with us for What's Tipping the Scales. We've got to say goodbye. A big thank you to attorney Franz Borghardt for joining us for What's Trending in True Crime.